So today I'll be working on this client. This is a client, so I decided to do a tutorial of her. So first off, I went into grooming the brows with my razor. Reasons why I groom the brows is because I want the brows to be properly groomed. What I'm applying on the brows is edge control, or if we have brow tamer, fine. But I use this to guide me on how to groom the brows. Note that it is not necessary. Now I used my razor. What I'm using a half razor, by the way, to remove excess from the brows. So I'm using a half razor to do that. So one secret you should know is that if you don't groom the brows properly, you will not get a good result. Just have that at the back of your mind. If the brows are not groomed properly, no good results. After that, I went in with my cotton pad. There is a micellar cleansing water on this. I went in my cotton pad to just clean excess on the face. Now I set the face using my setting spray. I back in my moisturizer to apply under the eyes. Now you should know that you don't have to apply sweat block or primer under the eye. Why? Because the eyes is very sensitive. What you need to apply is moisturizer and vitamin C under the eye. Now what I'm applying there is the sweat block. If you observe, I will not be applying the sweat block under the eyes. I will just be applying it on the places I need to apply. After that, I went in with hydrating primer. The hydrating primer is for cheek. Now I actually applied vitamin C under the eyes. The two major things I applied under the eye are vitamin C and hydrating moisturizer. Now you can see that glow on her face. You should know that if your skin prep is not nice, trust me, the makeup will not come out nice. So I'm using a Nigerian brand to work on her. I can't remember the foundation I used, but I know it should be Elegance or so. So I'm blending in seamlessly. One thing you should know is that if your blending doesn't come out well, your makeup will not come out well. And then also note that if you're blending the face, also blend certain parts of the neck. If the neck is too dark, also apply foundation there so the makeup doesn't look whitish, but always take your time to blend. Now if you observe, I'm blending the neck. After that, I went in with blush. I'll be going in with blush, but what I use as my blush is lip palette. I like using the lip palette as my blush. Reasons because I get good results with it, and then it's way more economical and better using my lip palette for blush. Now after that, the places at which I'm applying this blush, don't forget, the forehead, the cheek. These places I'm touching, these are the places I'm applying the blush. Now I'm going in with concealer. The concealer I'm using is from Elegance concealer. So yeah, I'm going with concealer, then I'll blend seamlessly. I noticed that this concealer is a matte concealer, so I try my best to blend immediately I apply. So yeah, that is it. I try to blend immediately I apply. So if you observe, I'm blending immediately I apply. I will be applying on the nose and forehead too, because why not? You want the face to have a full coverage and also look seamless. So yeah, that's what I would be doing. After blending, I'll be going in with powder palette of the same shade to apply under the eyes. You don't use a setting powder first, you use powder palette of the same shade to apply under the eyes. After that, you can now go in with your setting powder. Now I've gone in with my setting powder. The setting powder I'm using is RCMA setting powder from Julia Diamond Cosmetics. Now, in order to balance the face, I went in with a big powder brush to balance the face by applying powder on the places that are still creamy. Okay, yeah, apply powder on the places that are still creamy. Now I'm going in to apply a setting powder under the eye. This is the second stage of application, and this stage is called baking because I allowed the powder to pop. The first stage of application that I applied the setting powder, I blended it into the skin because it is called setting. When you say you want to set the face, you apply a setting powder and then blend it in. But if you're baking the face, you apply more because you'll be dusting it off due to eyeshadow fallout. Now, what I did was using a powder to do a nose contour. I don't do cream contour, so I use the powder to do a nose contour. Then I powdered my brows because I would want to remove excess oil. Now I still had to snatch the nose again so that there will be no harsh line. One thing you should know is that this my powder absorbs into the skin. Don't go and buy a very harsh powder. I recommend you use Gentle Dove or you use a good brand wherever location that you are. Just try and use a good brand. Now begin a reverse contour. You'll be wondering what's the meaning of reverse contour. Reverse contour is used to lift the face. Okay, so yeah, that is what reverse contour is used for. Reverse contour is used to lift the face properly. Now I'm removing excess powder from the brows. Now I'm going in to draw the brows. So I would just want you to observe what I'm doing. I use a color 3 to outline, and then I use a color 18 to fill. Let me zoom it closely so you see what I'm talking about. So this is what I mean. Now you can see how the brows look like. There are already hairs and the brows look dry. Okay, it's not oily. Now I'll be using color 18 to pre-draw my strokes. You should know that if your pencil is not properly sharp, trust me, there is no magic to this. You would not get this result. And if the brows are not dry, trust me, you will not get this result too. So these are the important factors. And then if your pencil is not the original one, you will not get this result. Now after doing that, I just brush. So for those of you that like stroke brows, or Kelly, how do you do your stroke brows? This is how I do my stroke brows. Make sure the brows is dry, make sure your pencil is properly sharpened, and do that gently. So I'll be going in with to conceal the concealer I used for the skin. That is what I'm using for the brows, because the concealer is a mattifying concealer, so it's supposed to be for the brows and not for the skin, but I had to use it because I know how to go about it. So I'll just keep mute so you see what I'm doing on the brows. Now I'm done concealing the brows. You should know that I did not conceal the top. Now this powder I'm using it to balance the base, so don't get confused. So after that, I will still be using my concealer as my eye primer. So there are a lot of things that you can use your concealer for. Your concealer can act as your foundation. Your concealer can act as your concealer. Your concealer can act as your eye primer. Your concealer can act as your corrector. Your concealer can act as your lip stain. There are lots of things to use your concealer for. So I'm using my concealer too as my eye primer. Now I'm blending in. I will be doing her a matte eye because she needed a very loud lips. Now I'm going in with a carton color because her eyes are going to pop. Okay, so that's why I'll be going in with a carton color. After the application, I went in my gel liner to just line the eyes. I did that off camera because she started tearing, but I went with my gel liner. Now I use my eyebrow pencil to line the lips. I just wanted to get a shape so that it will guide me on the kind of lip I will do using a red lip. So you can buy a good pencil to help you guide you for your lips. Observe that I also applied the liner, the black liner under her eyes, and she fixed lash extension. So yeah, I didn't apply any extension again on her eyes. I just cleaned it off. Now after pre-drawing the lips, I just followed the pattern of what I pre-drew to apply the red lips. Yeah, because that's the kind of lips she wanted. So most times you just pre-draw something, so it's way easier for you to do it, so there will be no correction. So watch as I continue the process. so because it was a little bit excess, I had to line the lips using my foundation. Okay, after that she said she wanted gloss, that is how she wants the lips, and then I added gloss. One thing I always advise my students is that before you work on a client, always ask them this question: do you have a picture of what you want, or should I just do what you want me to do? And then, do you have oily skin? You understand? Always ask your clients for this stuff, because most times it's easier to ask them for this stuff. It helps and guides you on what to do. Okay? There is nobody bigger than correction, and you should always listen to your clients. Okay, so yeah, that's just it. So after that, I had to apply blush, which is my lip palette. I used orange for her cause yeah, she's light skin. Now I'm applying bronzer. The bronzer I'm applying is from Younger Beauty, and I applied lightly. I really don't like a lot of bronzer, so I always ask my clients, hi, are you okay with the bronzers? What do you want? Should I top it off and all of that? Yeah, this is just the simple way I work on my regular studio clients. So, yeah. So that is it. This is the finished product. Always know that if the eyes are loud, the makeup for the lips needs to be calm. If the lips are calm, the eyes needs to pop. If this guides you, you will go far in this makeup industry. So for further more questions, kindly chat me up. The products I use mustn't be the product you use. Just get a good product. That is